You're listening to the Happy Workaholic Podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. This show was once about business, LinkedIn, and my life with an autoimmune disease. And then one day I found out I was misdiagnosed, so I had to switch things up a bit. Life is so short, and when you're given a second chance, you better believe I'm going to take it, celebrate it, and share it with you. I'm on a mission to help women take their business and life to that next level they deserve to be at. This show is intended to elevate your mind, upgrade your business, enhance your life, and become part of a positive and uplifting community. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today, and I cannot wait to share these amazing stories of other female entrepreneurs who will be featured on the show. If you have a story or brand you want to share, send me a message on Facebook and Instagram today. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic. I would love to connect with you. Do you want a live chat during this episode? Make sure you're listening on iHeartRadio. I'm here to remind you to work hard, stay humble, follow your dreams, and never, ever give up. Thanks for taking the time to subscribe to the Happy Workaholic Podcast. And now let's get into today's show. Today's episode is brought to you by Your Podcast Production. Have you been wanting to launch your own podcast but not sure where to begin? Is time the only thing holding you back? Maybe you're already recording but need somebody to guide you through the production process. Do you have a message that needs to be heard? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I have just the program for you. Your Podcast Production designs, coaches, produces, and aligns you and your brand to have a successful, enjoyable, and profitable podcast. After launching my own show, I had so many women reach out to me and ask me how I did it. So what did I do? I created something I wish existed. There are many ways to create and launch a podcast, and you want to make sure you do it right from the very beginning. I believe that keeping it simple, organized, and original is the most effective and efficient way to go. Are you ready to start the process? Are you ready to learn more? Visit yourpodcastproduction.com today. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode. It's Kelly, your host of the Happy Workaholic Podcast. And thank you so much for giving me your time today. I want to talk to you guys about how I'm healing from being misdiagnosed, from the trauma, from the stress, from everything in between, and how I'm now moving forward to heal my mind, my body, and sometimes my business. So if you follow me on social media, I'm all about sharing is caring, and I'm always posting what's working for me, my meditation, my recipes, like all that stuff. And you can always find it on my Instagram. I save them to my highlights. If we're not friends on Instagram, come on over today and say hello. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic. All my recipes are there. Cooking is very therapeutic for me. So I just want to share that. But I do share a lot of simple, easy recipes, especially when it comes to juicing, that you can go ahead and grab and see what works for you. So to start off, I have to just get my mind right. And that has probably been the hardest part of, finding out I was misdiagnosed, going through all the legal stuff. And I'm just so angry again. Not today, but some days. And that's going to take a lot of time. And, going through this illness that I didn't even have and all these treatments and the chemo and the drugs and everything under the sun, I go down this dark hole of why did this happen to me? I can't believe I'm not dead. Just so angry. But I've been doing a lot of things and getting my mind right and putting in the work, which is what I always say. I'm literally staring at it on my vision board. And no matter what you're going through in life, if you want a positive outcome, if you want an outcome at all, if you want to win, if you want to, come out of something bad in a positive light, you've got to put in the work. And it doesn't matter what it is. Nothing is going to happen and go right in your way if you don't put in the work. So in order to get my mind right, I've been doing a lot of meditation. And I recently went to a transcendental meditation seminar. It was almost 2 hours long, actually, last Saturday. And I learned so much from the organization. For example, a transcendental meditation is actually completely different than any of the meditations that I'm sure that you use every day, whether it's Insight Timer or what are the other apps? I forget the other ones, but I always use Insight Timer. And it's actually the complete opposite type of meditation. So that was something new that I learned. I also learned that our cortisol level or stress level drops when we sleep 3 to 4%. And through this meditation, it's actually 30 to 40%, which is freaking insane. Like triple, quadruple. Like I need that in my life. Sign me up. Thank you, ma'am. So that was interesting. And there was a lot of whiteboard drawings happening, a lot of little short videos. So I learned a lot. And I've been doing it on my own. I've challenged myself this week to do it twice a day. It's recommended that you do 2 20-minute transcendental meditations per day in order to get the results that you need. So granted, I've been using my apps. I went to YouTube and I went back into Insight Timer to see what was available for this type of meditation. And I don't know about you, but I'm very particular about voices, and this even goes to is the same for me when I listen to podcasts. Sometimes when you want to binge some podcasts, you don't want to hear a male voice, you want to hear a female voice. Well, if I'm working with females all day long, and just like always with a bunch of my friends, sometimes I just need that male perspective to like kick my ass and get me into high gear, or motivate me or inspire me some more. So it really depends on my mood. So when you're trying to find a meditation, you really want to just, peruse whatever apps you have or YouTube and see like which works best for you and which times. So in the morning I do it, and then in the afternoon as well. And then at night I actually do hypnosis, and that's what just knocks me out. And I've just been talking about online about my sleeping pattern lately, and I literally just have been sleeping so much. Like my body is just dying for it, as well as like all the greens in my life as far as vegetables go, which I'll get into in a minute. But I just am craving sleep. Like I've never been so exhausted in my life. I was telling my best friend yesterday, I was sitting on the beach and I'm like, I've never actually felt the actual feeling of exhaustion as I do now. Like I could pass out throughout the day, anywhere at any time. That's how tired I am. And I think it's because last week was literally the first week I haven't worked like 80 or 90 hours a week, which 30 or 40 of it was towards my legal case. So I just don't even know what to do with myself. My body has finally stopped, and it's like, what the hell is happening? And so now I need to rest. So going back to getting your mind right, you really need to listen to your gut and follow your intuition. If your body is saying like, girl, you need to rest, you better go rest. I've been taking naps for like 3 hours, like in the late afternoon, like a crazy lady. Like who is going to fall asleep at night? Well, I still fall asleep at night, and then I sleep like 16 hours. Like what the hell is happening? So I'm just going with it because clearly I need to heal. So number one, you've got to get your mind right. You've got to get into a positive mindset, and you must put in the work if you want to heal. It's just like any job. It's just like managing a house. Like you've got to do it for yourself first and foremost if you want to be productive in your personal or professional life. Okay? Next thing I want to share is my juice detox. So I have different fruits and veggies I use depending on my mood, but I do all the greens. Some of my friends are all about like the mangoes and the peaches and the strawberries, like berries. Oh my God, it's so funny. A very berry juice. However, I'm like the citrus girl. Like I want all the greens, all the lemon, the lime, the orange, like all the citrus. So it just depends on my mood. Although last week I did some strawberries, which was different, and they were also on sale. So that was a little bonus for me. But I post my juice recipes on my Instagram all the time. Whenever I have a new recipe, it's posted. And I do juice as a meal. And then now that I'm seeing a nutritionist, I've learned to add in protein. So I have a 1/4 cup of mixed nuts or walnuts. I've been kind of rotating them. And I do measure it out so that I have protein so I'm full, because the juice isn't going to make me full. And then I'm like, okay, it's 10:30, like I need a pizza. So no, that's like not okay. So I have my juice and my protein, and I'm good to go. So the way that I make my juice is in my beautiful Ninja that one of my besties got me for my birthday last year. And it's not a high-end juicer. I'm not wasting half the product, which I just don't understand. Like, if you're going to juice, like, what are you doing with all that pulp? Like, those are vitamins and nutrients that you're like literally throwing away. So I put everything in my juicer, in my Ninja, and I add in green tea that I've had pre-made. I'm super high maintenance when it comes to my iced coffee situation. So my iced coffee is always in a pitcher ready to go for me every day. So in the morning I wake up, I do my almond milk, my stevia, my cinnamon, my pumpkin spice, and my flavored vanilla nut, depending on how I'm feeling situation iced coffee. So I have the same method for my iced tea. I do immunity and I do green tea, and I brew a pot and then I ice it. So I pour a little bit of that in to blend the fruits and veggies. I would throw in some turmeric, some cayenne, and ginger, and then all the fruits and veggies. I blend it and I prep them 3 at a time. That's been my system. And I've been doing this for months solid. And I'm really seeing like insane benefits. I've recently lost 12 pounds and I haven't even begun to work out. It's just like I'm in full-blown healing and I can feel it. My body is like absolutely craving this. When I say, you know, when we're all PMSing and we're like, oh my God, I need the real New York Chinese food delivered now. I mean, that's what my friends and I say because we miss Chinese egg rolls like from New York City. And usually it's every month that we have that conversation. But getting back to the cravings, like, oh my God, this juice is like my go-to. So it's helping me heal. It's helping me detox. My skin looks amazing. I feel really good. And this is my new vitamin. And I do take vitamins every day. I take a vitamin D, a vitamin B. I take a multivitamin. I take my iron. And I think that's it. So I incorporate the turmeric and cayenne. If you read about turmeric, it actually has more power. It's more beneficial if you add in cayenne. That really helps activate the actual spice so that it can really help with inflammation. And when I do want those Chinese egg rolls, or right now I'm on steroids for my vertigo, I get swollen, like sodium face, big time. And that's just always how it's been. And I have decided that I need to maintain my drinking a gallon of water a day to help flush my system, and also help with, incorporate anything else into my life that can help with inflammation, because I just don't want puffy eyelids. And it's not just about appearance, it's internally as well. So drinking a gallon of water a day is what you should be drinking. And that is so hard. I mean, thank God I work from home because I'm constantly going to the bathroom and I can see it in my face. Like my skin is like a lot firmer. The collagen is plumped up. I have an ice roller I posted about on my Instagram the other day I've been using for years, and that's in the freezer, and that helps. It's almost as beneficial as an eye mask over eye mask before prepping your face when you put your makeup on. And this really helps with inflammation as well. You can even use it like on your arms, your knees. And I love this thing. And I got it on Amazon for like $10. But I'm all about the juicing, the detox, the inflammation, just like healing my body inside. And I'm really going to start incorporating, I've been following Dr. Jess. I'll link her Instagram in the show notes. She's actually local. She's in Encinitas here in San Diego. And she has created this method. If you look under the hashtag #KillBindSweat, it's unbelievable. And this is why I'm actually going to the sauna to help sweat out all these toxins. But she's so vocal about mold and toxins, and like she's literally a genius. And she's created her own product line that is so incredible, and I cannot wait to invest in it and add in that part. But for right now, I'm just using food as medicine and food to heal. So that's going to be my next step in healing. But for right now, I'm just focusing on, I always say, use what you have. And that's how I make my soups. And that's how I do my juices. And then whatever I'm craving, I add on top. Like, there's no reason to waste shit. I'm the queen of using leftovers and throwing them in a soup. And they're like the most unbelievable soup you've ever had. And less is more. And just use the shit you have in your fridge. And you're going to end up saving time and money. Those are some tips for you right there. But going back to cravings and detoxing, like, the other day, all I wanted was like a greasy piece of pizza. Like, I was so tired. I could barely even drive myself to Costco. But I specifically went to Costco because I just wanted a slice. I was going to go to the store and get a frozen pizza or have something delivered, and I would have eaten the whole thing. And that's not what I'm about right now. Like, I just want to treat myself because 1, I fucking deserve it. And 2, my body was craving it. And 3, there's no time to make a frozen pizza or have something delivered because I was literally going to pass out as soon as I ate this piece. So that's what happened, and it was amazing. And you have to learn to treat yourself. And I actually talked about this a little bit on an upcoming episode with Noelle Johnson from My Interview Buddy, and we were talking about how much we love cookies and how we've got to celebrate our little wins and treat ourselves. So stay tuned for that. It's coming out Wednesday. And I'm just being really mindful and paying attention. My memory is shit. So if I don't write things down, and if you're one of my clients, you know this, like, hold on, I'm writing it down. If I don't write something down, there's no way I'll remember. So I have a notebook, a planner, I have my notes on my phone, and I have a constant list going all the time, Post-its everywhere. I'm very organized. And, some could say it's like in an OCD manner, but not to the level where I need therapy. However, I'm already getting therapy, so we could always throw that in there if need be. But I've just always been an extremely clean and organized individual. And I think when I worked on yachts, that just enhanced it to the 10th degree. But I need to start doing more things for my memory. So I'm doing ginkgo biloba, MCT oil. Bulletproof coffees don't work for me because I drink iced coffee and that just doesn't really mix well. And I have some lion's mane and some of those mushroom chaga coffees and teas. And those you're supposed to drink hot. Something else hot I'm doing is the golden tea, I think it's called. Yeah, with the turmeric. Again, at night, I stopped drinking so much wine. I literally was drinking probably every day, every other day, even if it was just a glass because I was so stressed out through this legal case. And now I don't even want it. It's the weirdest thing. And it's just habit. And I'm like, oh my God, I still have this birthday wine sitting next to me. And it's still here days later, a week later, over a week later, actually. And I'm like, wow, I was so proud of myself. I don't even want it. And plus it's sugar, and then sugar's fat. And I'm busting my ass to detox. So what's the point of throwing in a bottle of wine, right? So I'm not doing that. I'm just, my therapist told me I need to stay mindful. And my nutritionist told me that I need to make sure I'm eating more. I actually wasn't eating enough protein. And so then I would always go to my carbs. And for me, I also have to be scheduled with my food. I'm so scheduled. So not as in time, but as in product. So every week I'll have the same thing. And I'll switch up different meals, but then when I shop, I'll crave something else. So throughout that last week, if I'm craving something, I'll start my ongoing shopping list. So when the week comes, I'll know, okay, this is what I'm getting for my juices. And then for my lunch, I'll have certain things for my salads, and I'll have options. So if I have my salad, I'll either add cut up chicken or garbanzo beans. I haven't really had that much meat except for my pepperoni slice on Sunday. I've been doing a lot of beans, and those are carbs too, proteins and carbs. So they're making me full. And that's just what I'm craving. It's so crazy. And then my delicious hearty soup that I made in my Instant Pot for the first time over the weekend. And that is the most healing soup I've ever had in my life. I can't get enough of it. I'm going to have to make a complete new batch of it. And I don't think I've ever done the same soup twice, but it's just so good. And there's farro in it. And if you haven't had farro, it's a grain, protein, and a carb. So it's really filling, and just all the hearty fruits and veggies that are in there. And then my third meal will be either a stir fry or a veggie stir fry, meat stir fry, or sometimes if I just want protein shake. So at night, I've been wanting sweet. So I can make a protein shake with my peanut butter and banana and baking cocoa, and it's super healthy. And then I wake up and I don't want sweet. So it just depends on my mood, but I'm very organized and scheduled when it comes to my meal prep. So right now I have everything portioned out. If I want some options, they're all ready to go. So I have this awesome black bean hummus that I got at the store and a daikon radish. And if you haven't had a daikon radish, you need to go to the store today and buy one. They're super cheap. The one I bought was the size of my arm. It was $1.25. And it's not, I love spice. It's not as spicy as a regular radish. It's kind of sweet, but I follow somebody else on Instagram who is a Beachbody coach. She actually helps run like all the programs. I forget her title. I'll tag her. Her name is Elena, and I am actually writing that down because I'll forget. I'm putting it in my show notes. She does always hashtags veggies most, and she's always eating these daikon radishes. And I'm like, I need to try this. So I put pink salt on it, thinking I needed it, and it was awful with the pink salt. Just by itself is so good. So as a snack, I have that with my hummus, and I'm full, and it's delicious. And I don't do Beachbody or anything like that. But I happen to follow her somehow. I forget. I think somebody posted about her, and I was like, ooh, I love veggies. So I think I just started following her because she loves veggies. I love veggies. It's like a win-win. So that's another snack. So I just want to have options, and I want to have them ready. And then I was telling my friend last night, I was like, I can't go out and buy like another carb, or I can't have more options available than just 2. Otherwise, I'm going to cheat. And it's fine if you cheat, but it's just like too overwhelming for me right now. So like how my mind is working is like less is more. I literally just updated my website, and I took down, by updating, I mean, I took down like over 10 pages. I just wanted like a clean, minimalistic feel. And that's how I feel like I'm living my life right now. And so I'm just living the less is more vibe, and I'm loving it. So the less food I have available to me, the less I'm going to eat, and that's what I need. I need to have constant healthy options available and prep so I can grab it and go. So like I've already portioned out my protein for the morning. So if I'm rushing somewhere, I have my iced coffee. I can grab my juice. It's already made. I throw in 3 ice cubes, and it stays super cold. So like in 2 hours, I know that might sound like disgusting, but it's ice cold and it's still delicious. And then I have a little snack pack bag, the Ziplocs, of my 1/4 cup of mixed nuts or walnuts, whichever I decide to grab. So that's my whole meal, and I'm full. And then if I'm going out for a little bit longer, like I did yesterday, I knew I was going to the beach. I brought hummus and my daikon radishes, and I was so full when I got home. And then I didn't end up eating until later. And I had, what did I have? I had my popcorn with melted Irish butter and that everything bagel seed from Trader Joe's. It was like life-changing. I was craving butter. I don't really have that much dairy, so I was good. And then what did I have with that? Oh, I had a stir fry, garbanzo beans, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower rice, which I love but kills my stomach. So I'm just going to make actual like regular rice this week. And probably tonight, because I'm craving it. And now that I'm talking about egg rolls, I feel like I need egg rolls too. But I'm going to be mindful and be super healthy about the choices I'm making. Instead of having deep fried, I can pan sear them and be good. Instead of having 3, like I'll have 1, and then like more veggies. So I'm trying to be more mindful about everything in my life. I'm trying to be healthier. I'm trying to heal and detox and do all of these things at once. So you have to make sure you're giving yourself rest as well. So in the meantime, I sleep all of the time. I mean, I'm sleeping so much. I'm napping so much. It's insane how much I'm sleeping, and my body is just like here for it. So here I am. I have a very high maintenance situation in the evening where I have my oils that I'm staring at, my diffuser. I spray lavender on my bedding before I even get into bed. It's just like a little ritual I do that I probably picked up from working on yachts. And I don't take it to the extreme where my sheets need to be ironed before I get into them, however. That's a little intense. And nobody's paying me to do that anymore. So that's just how I go to bed every night, and that's how it works. And I feel bad for the next guy who comes in my bed. It's like, what are you doing? But side note, I have to do my hypnosis if I can't sleep. Lately, I've been watching Sex and the City. I started from the very beginning, and so I'm going to alternate that, with my hypnosis. So if you're looking for detox recipes, if you're looking for healthy meals, like feel free to check out my Instagram at The Happy Workaholic. They're all located on my highlights. They're also on my Pinterest, which I'll link on in the show notes. I'm writing that down. And they're all labeled there. I just started some new boards for healing and immunity, and that is my go-to. Like when I need something, it's on Pinterest. So if you're looking for personal development, and then all my business stuff is there too, like everything. So, I mean, who doesn't love Pinterest, right? So that's where I get a lot of my ideas from for healing. So the sauna sessions and all of that, like I'm learning more benefits from it, which is great because I really want to see all the benefits. Like I just want to, my body this week is telling me like, you're not ready to work out. You just need to sweat. And honestly, I'm so tired right now. The thought of going to the gym and sweating is exhausting, but I'm going to do it because I promised myself that I would. And this is how I'm healing. I need to heal my mind, my body, and everything else in between. So that's happening. And I'm, the reason why I share everything online, majority speaking on my Instagram and on my stories, and I keep everything in my highlights. It's because it keeps me accountable. So when I started doing my 10K steps every day, I was posting it every day. But then I fell off the wagon, and now I'm going to start doing it when I'm ready to work out again. But right now I need to heal and detox. So those will be coming soon in the future. But for right now, like I love being in the kitchen. I love creating recipes. I used to work on yachts. I was a personal assistant. Like I'm a meal prepping machine. I love creating new recipes. Like I love that shit so much. So by sharing my recipes and what I'm, going through, I'm able to, share my recipes with the rest of the world. If you're looking for short and sweet, easy recipes, or share my healing process. And it's also keeping me accountable. So I have that accountability factor where like, you need to show up and post this. Otherwise, and then I can actually, going back to not having a memory, remember, because I can see it online, like, oh my God, I did do that for like 5 months straight. It'll remind me. Hashtag chemo brain is no joke. So, going back to water intake, there's a way that I drink my water. So I have a couple water bottles literally in front of me, and I don't sip it. I have to pound it, and then I move on. And then I pound it, and I move on. And that's just how I get through it. And you may have other ways that work for you. Go ahead and do those. Whatever works for you is how it's going to get done. But you have to be in the right mindset and a positive frame of mind in order to move forward and heal your body and detox. I'm over the anger. Well, not 100%, but I'm in therapy to, figure the rest of my life out now that I have one. And the type of therapy I'm doing is called EMDR, and it's actually a more of a holistic approach of therapy. And it, if you Google it, I'll put some information in the notes because I don't want to read something wrong. And obviously I'm not a medical professional. I am a professional patient. So, EMDR therapy is really good for trauma and PTSD. And my therapist told me that I shouldn't work on Fridays when I have therapy, which is I usually have it every single week on Fridays. So I really experienced her reason why I shouldn't be working on Friday. I was a mess. I had to relive sitting in that chemo chair, sweating my ass off, thinking my life was going to end. Who's going to take care of me? I'm going to die. I can't breathe. I'm on all these drugs. I had all these visions and goals in my life. I want to have a family. I want to get married. I want to have kids, like all this. I was in a deep, dark place, you guys. And I've always been vocal since day one. Like I've never not shared anything about that, like going through anxiety and depression. But now, going through my legal case, I had to relive every single moment. And on the last episode, my 2-year anniversary episode that I just put out earlier this week, I was saying you go through this deep, dark hole of reliving shit, but I don't even remember half of it because I was so medicated. I have no recollection. Every time I was going through medical paperwork through this legal case, I would call up a friend and be like, do you remember that I was on Valium? Do you remember that I was at the emergency room for this amount of days and I got this IV drug? Do you remember when they said, yes. I have no memory, no recollection whatsoever. And it makes me sick. And that's when I start to get angry. And I have to just pull my shit together and realize that I'm here to share my story to help thousands of other people out there that will come across my information and it can help them one day. So if I can make it through that chemo chair, if I can make it through all these medications going through my system and being mindful about everything, losing weight and flushing my system with water and doing all the healing and detoxing now and still be alive to share my story after the legal shit's done, and doing it myself 6 different times, there is a reason why this shit happened to me. And it's because I'm strong enough to share it. And I'm never going to stop. And now what I'm going to do moving forward is continue to share how I'm healing, how I'm working, how I'm like being mindful about everything, how I'm detoxing, how I'm working out, how I'm making this soup in my brand new Instant Pot, how I'm just living my brand new life, which is like insane. And I just want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to these shows all the time. Each and every week. I haven't been consistent with my schedule, but now I'm like on a roll. Like there's no stopping me because for the exception of Fridays and my therapy, which is so intense, but you've got to put in the work, like I said, and I'm putting in the work for therapy. It's going to take a long time. And I remember things that I've never remembered when I come out of there, and it's so emotional. And thank God, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I'm always at the meditation gardens, and that's literally down the road. So I go there after every therapy because I need to. And that's just like my second happy place, the beach being number 1, obviously. But thank you for allowing me to share my story. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing it. I believe that, knowledge is power and time is money. And, I work really, really hard. And I honestly don't know how I maintained my business and my clients and my sanity throughout this, but now I'm here to share so much more. And once my legal case is completely finished, times 6, I will be sharing so much more on my YouTube channel. I've been filming so much behind the scenes. I haven't shared a thing because I'm not going to mess up my strategy, because I've done enough legal research where I know that that's not the smartest. But I'm on a mission to help more people. So whether it's by sharing my episodes on my podcast for personal and business tips and tricks, and just sharing these amazing entrepreneurs I have coming on for season 2 for the I Chose This Life series, sharing new series I have coming up, which is all, it's going to include different patients, not just myself, because I'm sure you're sick of my story. But the show has evolved like numerous times, and now that it's 2 years old, I'm just like, holy shit, like 2 years? That's insane. And now that I've upgraded the show and had to rebrand it after I was misdiagnosed, it's all about mind, body, and business. So whatever you guys want to hear about mind, body, and business and how I can share what I know best with you, please just leave me a review on Apple Podcasts and let me know, or send me a Facebook or Instagram message. You can always find me at The Happy Workaholic. I just want this show to be the best that it possibly can for everybody listening. And there are over 57 there's over, how many did it? Yeah, 57. I can't even talk. I've been recording all day. Over 50 is what I meant to say. I'm in 57 countries right now, and that is absolutely insane. So thank you so much for all of you listening out there. You have no idea how much it means to me that you've been listening to these shows from the very beginning, that you're tuning in brand new, that you're just hearing my story now. Hearing feedback from this show is like my number 1. Like it sparks some serious joy, kids. It makes me so happy. And I don't know what I would have done without you guys and without this show. I don't know how I would have ever made it through. But I'm here, and now I'm just like doing all the things to heal, to detox, to move forward, to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive. I love those 4. I'm staring at them at my on my vision board. And I'm just going to make this show so incredible and bring on more guests and do more series and just really put a lot more information out there that hasn't ever been spoken about, especially when it comes to mind, body, and business, and being a patient and being proactive and sharing your story. If you have a story to share and you want to be on my show, then reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. And I think that's all I have today. I just wanted to share with you guys, that was like so long-winded. I don't think I took a breath, but I'm just so excited to be recording again. I just wanted to share what's working for me. So whatever you feel in your heart, in your gut, in your mind, what you need to do, just go fucking do it. Write it down, make a to-do list, put it in your phone, whatever you need to do, and make it happen. Just make yourself feel better. It doesn't matter what your family and friends think. You have to focus on yourself, number 1. You are your number one priority. You can't be good for anybody else if you're not good for yourself first. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share. I hope that you guys, even though that was so long, I hope that you guys enjoyed the show, and I will be back again next week. I'm so excited to be here. And if you're not a part of my Facebook community, please join. It's called the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. I always want to say the Happy Workaholic podcast, but it's the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. Come on over and say hello. We talk about everything, including our latest Netflix binges, recipes, working out, life drama, and so much more. It's positive, so just keep that in mind. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you liked this episode, please share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this message. And don't forget to tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram so I can feature you on my stories. And if you have 2 minutes and listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, I would love it if you could leave me a review. Those messages mean so much to us podcasters, and they really help me create more of the content that you'll love. Want to continue today's conversation? It's simple. Head to Facebook and search for the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. Answer the questions and you're in. For more information on myself, coaching programs, weekly newsletter, and more, visit thehappyworkaholic.com. The Happy Workaholic Podcast is part of the iHeartRadio Podcast Network. Be sure to follow the Happy Workaholic Podcast on iHeartRadio or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope that your day continues to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive, and I'll talk to you again soon.